What's going on? So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about turning this 1436 Lowe Jon Boat that I got from my granddad into a mini bass boat. I'm going to be putting a floor in, I'm going to be putting a casting deck in, I'll be putting an electrical switch panel along with navigation lights and some party lights here under the gunnel. And my goal here is to use this boat as a quick and easy fishing boat slash party boat. Go out to the sandbar, out on the lake, on the river. It's kind of going to be a catch-all. This entire boat, the goal is going to be simplicity. I don't want to weld anything. I'm going to put most of this boat together with these aluminum 3/16 inch pop rivets. It's going to be super simple. I'm using, for the casting deck, I will be using this 1/16 inch by 1.5 inch angle aluminum from Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever you can get it. And I'll be using, this is 1/20 inch, 1 inch by 1 inch aluminum tubing. This will be going in the floor to add some support because the ribs on this Jon Boat are the very thin, rounded kind, and you cannot secure anything to that. At least I will not be securing anything to that. I don't want to compromise the boat's structural integrity or anything like that. As far as the floor goes, I'll be using 1/2 inch plywood. Now I'm not using aluminum or marine plywood. I'm going to be using CCX Plywood from Home Depot. That's where I was able to find it. It's weather resistant, but what I'm going to do to give it a little bit more water resistance is I'm going to go ahead and make all of my cuts, fit it, get it ready to go in there, and then I'm going to be coating it in an epoxy resin, kind of similar to what they put on garage floors. And my goal here is that once I put that resin coating on it, I'm not going to put any holes in it. I'm not going to staple anything. I won't be drilling anything. And the hope is that once I make that resin seal, since I will not be puncturing it, that it'll completely waterproof the plywood. Now, whether that's going to hold up or not, I don't know. But for a $30 can of resin, I was willing to risk it if it was going to save me $100 more on plywood by not having to buy marine grade plywood. Now, as far as the decking goes, I'm not going to use carpet. I'm going to use this EVA board I got here off of Amazon. Now, this is 3M backed. I don't know how well it's going to work. If I don't like the adhesive that comes on it, I'll probably end up using some sort of carpet glue or carpet adhesive. But it's this real nice kind of fake wood looking that I like. You can see. And it's a nice kind of foam. It's a stiff foam. It's supposed to be water resistant, waterproof. See how it holds up. Off Amazon. It was really cheap. It's about 30 bucks. Should do my entire boat here, all the boat deck. I'll be using some insulation board for some support between the ribs for the floor. And then other than that, I'm just going to be using bits and pieces off of Amazon. The electrical stuff I'll explain more in another video. But that's really it. It's going to be pretty simple. Like I said, I don't want this to be a difficult project. I don't want to have to be welding things. I didn't even choose to repaint this. I kind of like the old green that I've got here. If I was doing this for something else, or for somebody else, I would repaint the whole boat. You know, I'd weld it, I'd do it much better. But this is for me, and I'm more of a function over form person. I want it to look nice at the end of the day, but if I'm not going to be actively looking at the framing and the decking and or the underside of the decking, I'm not going to worry about how well that's put together as long as it's structurally sound and it's going to last. So I'm going to go ahead and get into explaining some of this, and I'll show you what I've got so far. So here's where we're at so far. This is where the cast deck is going to be. I've already got a seat mount here, so I'm probably going to end up drilling these bolts out and replacing them, just freshening it up a little bit. This Jon Boat has got rounded benches, so when I was going to attach the decking here with the deck supports, I took a piece of the angle aluminum and I riveted it over that corner. Now that gave me a nice flat surface to attach these support beams to. These are real simple. I measured them out and I cut them on a bandsaw, and I folded them using a shop table mounted vice grip, something really simple. Everything's riveted together, no welding here. I'm going to go back with a file and clean up any of these metal bits. I'm going to soften these corners so they don't dig into my nice resin coated plywood, and I mean, it's nothing special, just any old file will do. Hit that corner like that, and it rounds it off real nice. Should not poke a hole or wear too bad. I added a cross support here. Now I'm gonna put a hatch right here because I want to be able to access underneath here. I'm gonna put my batteries. I'm gonna use some lithium marine batteries because the motor I'm putting on here is gonna be a pull start 15 horsepower. So I do not need cranking power. I just need auxiliary power for my lights and whatnot. I put a little hatch here. I've already measured it out, so I know these are the correct width. When I get the hatch here, I will add another support right here. It's going to be something like that. Hatch will be right there, similar to what I have here. I'm going to line this. The plan is to line the bottom here. Instead of with wood or anything, I'm going to get some horse stall rubber mats. So horse stalls have these decently thick rubber matting. I have some extra laying around. I'm going to cut that into strips and I'm going to lay that down in here. Probably affix it with glue or some sort of adhesive. Now the floor is going to be a little bit different. So as you can see, these ribs are thin and they're rounded on the top. You can't really fix anything to that. So I got this 1/20 inch by 1 inch aluminum tubing. I've got that set in there and it's gluing right now. I'm just using some Gorilla Glue contractor's glue. It's all weather, all purpose, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to use this green Kingspan insulation board. This is a closed cell foam, so it's not going to soak up any water. And that's going to fit kind of right in here. Now this is a piece that's going to go in between my two supports right there. Now the reason that I put two here and only put one here is because there's going to be a seat mounted here. I'm going to mount a low seat, kind of a passenger princess seat. I'm going to sit on the bench. It's going to be a tiller style control. So I'll be sitting on the bench controlling it, but I'm going to put like a little passenger princess seat right here. It's going to be a little bit more comfortable, seat you lower in the boat. You'll feel a little bit more stable. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this foam right here, and I'm going to bring the casting deck out to this support, and it's going to come down on this support, and I left this gap here so I can put my switch panel in here. I can put some wiring in here, and I'll put the fuse box back on this side for easy access. But once I get that switch panel in there, I'm not going to be messing with it. But all in all, that's the goal. And it's a pretty simple build, pretty simple design. I really did not do any planning for this other than just making sure I had it as far out as I felt comfortable so that when I'm walking around, plywood's not going to give way and fall. I will end up affixing the plywood to this frame. I mean, it's a good solid frame. I mean, once you get it riveted on there, this angle aluminum is really sturdy. But once we put that 1/2 inch plywood on there, it should make a very, very nice deck. Now, I'll be doing another video in the future on the electrical stuff and actually putting the wood in itself. This is a very early video. There'll be several more to come going through each step of the process. So keep an eye out for those when I post them. And thank you for watching.